Okay, hey y'all. This is Goddess Intuition 3. This is the channel Goddess Intuition 3. I just wanted to put this video out here. This is part of my story and me exposing small town corruption, narcissistic and narcissistic behavior in individuals, psychological warfare. In addition to that, community and group stalking, and this all relates to an ex an ex that I broke up with, and I guess he retaliated. I believe he's in some sort of secret society or something, to where he was able to conspire against me and basically try to sabotage my life in every angle possible. Okay, it's one of those loaded ass stories with many different type of conspiratory events, and just plots and plans, and people trying to like instigate and provoke me, and just really weird things that I've never been through until the past few years. So I went to court today. This is one of the events that in which he's trying to sabotage me, him and his family, or whomever that is included in addition to it. I went to court. He kidnapped my children. I think I posted it when it happened. I went live, I believe, August the 2nd of 2021, which I went live and exposed him a little bit, and then and was awaiting trial. So I went to court 2 weeks ago, and they gave me the petition that he responded to for a TPO, for a restraining order, and basically he lied and has been manipulating and brainwashing my children, my 3 children, to tell them, to tell the police and the CPS that I've been abusing them, which I would never. I don't even believe in spanking. I don't abuse my children in any way possible, and that's that. So, like I said, this story is a loaded story. This is the story of my life, literally. So I'm just basically would like to get more exposure, because I feel like I'm literally battling this myself. So, my bad, y'all. So, I'm just gonna kind of start from currently what's going on to the events that's been happening, okay? Because it's a long ass story. So this is in August the 2nd is when CPS of Macon, Georgia, Bibb County, Georgia, and Bibb County police officers decided to ambush and raid my home and accuse me of child neglect and abuse. This is basically the paperwork, the case in which they basically are charging me of cruelty to children, 2nd degree, and cruelty to animals, which all of this is false. The person that is accusing me, who claims he's a witness, is Jum Rauf, which is my ex, my 2 girls' fathers. And the case report here, which basically everything on here is pretty false. He stated certain things on here where he lied. There's no dates on here. He lied. He said that I hit my children. I punched. He said that I punched. He lied to the children, or had the children lie. And they literally interrogated my children, CPS and the officers, Officer Ard and Officer Johnson, some investigators, and Darlene Williams, whom is a CPS person. um, whom all, just basically showed up at my home, one by one. First, it was three officers, Officer Ard, Officer Johnson, and it was a sergeant. I want to say Sergeant Harrison. I'm not sure what his last name was. However, they showed up in my home after I made a call to call the ambulance because my older son said he wasn't feeling well. So I called them so they can see if he's okay. Mind you, uh, I had been waiting for a minute. So they came. They came. Actually, the ambulance did not come. Who showed up at my door was two cops. They showed up at my door. Two police officers, two Bibb County police officers showed up at my door and literally ambushed my home. My children were basically acting erratic. My son was, he said he was already feeling, he wasn't feeling that well. However, what was really going on in that home was my son was on the phone, I believe, probably with his father, and he might have been coercing him in what to say or what to do or whatever. And also my daughter was on her phone, hiding in the bathroom, which was strange. So she came out, the officers pushed themselves in there, started to kind of just accusing me. Mind you, I don't know what's going on because I called for an ambulance for my son, and I'm just like, what is this? So I asked her to step away from my home because she has no right to be here. No, I didn't call her over here and know what's going on. My youngest daughter started crying, and I was recording as well. My youngest daughter started crying. So I told her, I had her go in the room. That's my youngest baby girl. She was 9 at the time. I had her go into my room with her pets, and the officer just kept on interrogating me and intimidating me. And they're already officers with, it's like 3 of them at this point in my home, just kind of interrogating me. And it was just a lot going on in the house, which I steadily kept on recording. My son was acting erratic. My daughter was acting erratic. My middle child daughter was acting erratic. My youngest one, I had her in the room. The officer kept just basically what they did was they said that I was mentally ill, and then one of the police officers detained me, he took me to his car. Actually, before he took me to the car, they had me in the hallway of my home while they interrogated my children. This happened August the 2nd, I want to say around 11:30, 12 o'clock, around that time. That's when the call was made, around that time. They got there, I want to say probably about 12:30, something like that, p.m. And as I stood in the hallway being detained by an officer, as I asked him, please let me go. What is going on here? Why are you guys even here? They took all 3 of my children into my bedroom with all these adults. So as I'm being detained, another individual came in, which was Darlene Williams, a CPS person, and then an investigator. What did he say his name was? I forget what he said his name was, but he was a black guy, an investigator, and he stated that, he's an investigator. He's here to investigate. Basically, all of them ambushed me. So all of them are in the room. All of these people, 3 grown men, and 2 ladies in my bedroom with my 3 children, my 3 young children. The oldest one is 16. Okay. So they're interrogating them. I don't know what's going on. I didn't give no permission as their mother, their live, competent mother, sane, competent mother. I did not give them any permission to speak to my children, to interrogate my children of any sort. After then, it was, I want to say maybe 30 minutes passed, and the officer Ard came out, said something to the officer that detained me, that had me detained, and the officer Johnson, it was a tall black guy, came out and took me outside to his vehicle, while they still were in my home, in my bedroom with my three young children, interrogating them and having them sign all sorts of paper, hearsay, and whatever else they were doing. I don't know. I don't know if they abused my children. I don't know if they touched them inappropriately. I don't know what happened. All I know is that they were in that room with my children, and they were there for 4 hours. 4 hours in my bedroom without me, without my permission. And when they finally came out, I guess they called their father, Jum Raouf, who they allowed to come and kidnap my children. I saw them walk out. I tried to say, "What's going on? Are you guys okay?" I told them bye. The only one that said bye was my little girl. She said bye to me, and the officer finally let me out. And I was able to go back in my apartment. So that's what happened basically that day. Now the reports are stating from their father, I did a TPO on him. I've been dealing with this for the last 7 months, and for 7 months he's been alienating me from my children. His case, he's stating that the children don't even want to talk to me, and that I've abused them, and that I've beaten them, and I've done exorcisms on them, and all this crazy ass shit, and with no evidence, no basis, no facts, no nothing, and he basically trying to sabotage my life. One of the events that in which he's trying to sabotage my life. So that happened. That catastrophic event happened August the 2nd. Today, this is what, 8-9 months later. Like I said, he's been their father has been alienating my children. Every time I call them and text them, like the kids, either they don't answer at all, or they'll give me real bad attitude. My son literally blocked me. I'm like, what is going on here? He blocked me off Facebook, and I just don't understand, what's going on. So, it's a lot, y'all. I try to stay as calm as I can, but it's a lot. It's a lot to have a narcissistic individual that you broke up with, that you were with for 10 years, and he mentally and physically abused you, and now he has you going through all this. It's a lot to go through, and this is not even just it. This is just like a little bit of the story, okay? This is just many conspiratory occurrences, or one event from many of the conspiratory events that's been going on for the past 5 years now. In 2016, I'm going to go back a little further, because that's basically what's currently going on right now. I went to court today to get the TPO granted, the restraining order from him, because in 2016, that's what I was really told to do, but I never did it. I didn't, I was just like, oh, okay, I left him, I'm good, I'm going to start my life over again with my children, take care of them financially, mentally, and spiritually, and physically, and everything else that I did, and I was doing it. I was doing it, but he was still plotting and planning. However, he was doing it with his family as well. With his family, he was plotting and planning with his family to enact, the further plans that he had to take my children away from me, and all the events that's been happening within the 5 years, to make me seem unstable, to defame my character, to make me seem like I'm an angry person, to make me seem like I'm mentally ill. He's been accusing me of mental illness. Even CPS is saying that I'm mentally ill. Like, everyone wants me to be mentally ill. What the fuck? What the fuck is wrong with y'all? Y'all mentally fucking ill, okay? Stop fucking stalking me. How about that? So, 2016 is when I left him. At the end of 2016 is when I left him. And even then, it didn't dawn on me what was going on. My whole thing was to get away from him and start my life over again. I wasn't thinking about like the repercussions from him when it came to, whatever he was planning to, how to sabotage my life or whatever the case may be, his retaliation. I left him the day that I left, he called the police. We got into an argument about, I don't know what we got into an argument about, but he called the police and told my child, my oldest child, to tell the police that I was abusing them, which I wasn't. The police asked my child, how have your mother been abusing you? And he told her, well, she tells us to effing clean our room. And the police said, well, that's not abuse. I'd say that to my children all the time. Then she asked him, well, what type of abuse, is that it? Does she touch you inappropriately? Does she hit you? Does she do all this stuff? He said no. So the police saw the lies that he was feeding the children, that he had fed the children, and I was let go. The children were given to me. She asked him about legitimacy or whatever. That's why he's getting legitimacy right now. That's why he's trying to get legitimacy right now. And so I left him that day, started my life over at a woman's house, and I was allowed to, I started over. I found me a shop to work at, saved up all my money, got me my own place, and started doing everything that I was supposed to do, take care of my children without him. I was financially, mentally, physically, spiritually taking care of my children with little to no help from him nor his family. So, about a year into me working at the shop, I started just noticing like weird things, like, I don't know, just weird like rumors and slanders about me, but I didn't really pay it no mind. I was just like, okay, whatever. So I just kind of continue working, because I really don't get into people's business. I don't cause any harm to people. So I don't understand why but I'm doing my best, and this is a small town, so crab in the bucket mentality runs rampant out here. So I did that. Then I just kind of decided, I was like, you know what? I always wanted to get my cosmetology license to further my hair career, my hair industry career. So I went to this school called Millermont Tech, which I was there for 9 months to get my cosmetology license. And I kept the 4.0, 3.7 GPA, and I didn't bother anyone. However, during some time throughout the 9 months that I was there, I noticed people started acting weird towards me, just kind of, following me around, and certain people at the school, certain students, and then also just hacking into my phone, my devices, and then people like really talking about my personal business, which I was just like, what is going on here? But it still didn't dawn on me what was going on. Like, what is this? I just kind of stayed focused on my cosmetology license, and was just about to get it. I was about 3 to 4 weeks into, I was in the last class, the certification class, the state board certification class. And the few women that was there that was provoking me, Ashley Wilson, Raylene Oates, Michelle Latrice, it was a couple of other ladies that didn't even make it to the end. I was the only one in my group class to even pass to that, to the end of the board certification. But somehow they had all these women that was harassing me and stalking me in the school, and had, hacked into my devices, come into the class that I was the only one that was supposed to be in that class. So that was really strange. But I was just like, what the hell? And I told the teacher, well, why are they in here? They, they don't even belong here. I done worked hard and stayed at a 8-point average doing all this stuff to get my cosmetology license, and these people, they don't deserve it. A lot of them barely came to school. That's why they didn't, they didn't graduate to that last module that I was, that I accrued to. So when they placed them there, I felt that it was like, okay, I was just like, wow, are they trying to, what are they trying to do? I was just like, okay, these ladies are the ones that's been harassing me. And I complained several times about it. Several times. I've complained several times, and they never rectified it. And these women even, like, they retaliated and complained about me, with the same thing that they were doing to me. So it was just really, really strange. It's a lot of other events that had happened during that time. However, those are the main ones. And they on November the 25th, they accused me of disorderly conduct. And they start, actually that morning, they started to harass me. Ashley Wilson, Raylene Oates literally assaulted me and threw my phone across the room. And I called the police. And the police arrested me. He was literally laughing with them, the perpetrators, and then arrested me. So, I was just like, oh my God, I don't know what the fuck is this shit, but this shit is not cool. I don't get it, So anyways, I'm going to fast forward. The school was basically telling me that I needed to take anger management classes and all this weird ass shit. And I'm like, I'm not the one with the anger issues. I'm chilling over here. I'm 3 weeks away from getting my stuff, getting my cosmetology license. What is going on with y'all? The ones harassing me. So, I didn't go back to the school because the environment was already toxic while I was there. And they're the ones that, created this false report on me. So I just was like, okay, I'm not going back there. And the public defender tried to make me lie and say that, that I was guilty, which I was not. And he was mad when I fired him and defended myself, which I defended myself and got the case dismissed. All right, so that happened in 2019. So mind you, I'm still not thinking that my children's father have anything to do with it. But at this point, I'm like, I'm trying to put some things together, because at some point, like, he started acting real aggressive towards me, barging into my home unannounced, trying to start arguments with me to provoke me and to make me angry of some sort, and trying to tell me how to take care of my children when I'm the one taking care of them financially and everything else. They have a home here and you not really doing anything. So why are you trying to tell me how to take care of my children? So I didn't really put everything together until COVID hit, because this happened, 2019. So mind you, these are events, conspiratorial events that are building up, okay? Building up, right? So COVID happens right after I was falsely arrested for disorderly conduct, and I got the case dropped. And then COVID happened, right, in 2020. So I was able to, thank God, I was able to rest. I was able to rest my head, spend more time with my children, and all this good stuff, right? Spend more time with my children, and happily was able to take another course, which was trichology, and still I was able to get my certified, been certified to be a trichologist. I was like, okay, they tried to stop my show over there at the school. Boom, COVID hit. Boom, now I could take my trichology course online, paid for that, and I got it. I spent a few months and I got my certification. Boom. So I'm like, good. Okay, great. So I stopped working at that shop. I started working at another shop, and started noticing weird things too. Even just kind of around town, people just kind of like, people I don't even know would just like, just like would be kind of rude or disrespectful. Like, I was just like, this COVID era is really weird. Like, what is going on? Like, okay, whatever. I'll be doing hair at the clients, at the shop, and it was just, it seemed like group stalking, and that's real. Group stalking or community stalking, or it's called gang stalking. So stalking within a group of people, or within the community. And I believe those type of things are related to secret society type initiations, or um, and or psychological warfare, mental warfare, to drive you crazy, to make you paranoid, to make, to probably drive you insane. And I saw this. I'm a very spiritual person, and I see all this. I see it all. I might not say much about it, but I see it all. It's just really weird conspiratory events. So I remember at one point I was telling the father of my children, certain things that was going on, and he started smiling, which was like, okay. When you see something odd, you're like, you got that noted, right? So I noted that too. I was like, okay, whatever. And I started just kind of, like putting things together. Even the second shop that I worked at, it seemed like the same people that was at the first shop kind of followed me there, and was creating, like a weird toxic environment as well. So I left that shop, got my own shop, which has been great thus far, because I'm not going to allow folks to come in there and talk to me any type of way, or cross my boundaries, or stalk me, or, act belligerent in my space of business. So, so that's fine, However, there's still slander. There's a lot of defamation of character. There's, a whole smear campaign that was against me, and still is, I believe. Just people talking about certain things, personal things that they have no business in knowing, unless they had hacked into my devices, or, certain things like that. So that, and it's like I said, it's a lot of different things that's been going on in between those major events that I'm, speaking on. Like when I go grocery shopping, just people kind of following real close behind me, which, at first glance, it's like, oh, okay, whatever. But if you're looking at it in a whole, like, let's say, I subpoena the CCTV the camera authorities that record everything that's going on Earth, right? We're all being watched to some extent, correct? So if I were to subpoena that company that does it, or the satellites that do that, you guys would see these groups of people literally every time I step out following me around, and everywhere I go, grocery shopping, when I used to go certain places with my children, take them, certain places, whatever, museums, whatever, wherever it was that I stepped out. If I stepped out this building, it was like the people were drawn in, which, I'm like, okay, I don't know what I'm famous for out here. I mean, it is a small town, and yeah, I do hair, and certain people know me, but not everybody in Macon, and even when I would go to Warner Robins. And I remember traveling to Atlanta at one point, and the same thing happened. I went to New Orleans at one point, and the same thing happened. So I'm like, and I've been like, certain people are being sent to me, and they're telling me, you need to move, like trying to scare me and put fear into me. Like, I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Even if I do move, whatever that's going on right now is still going to go on. Like, why should I move? I'm not moving out of here, because I went to New Orleans and the same thing still happened. I went to Atlanta and the same. So anywhere I go, probably the same things are going to happen. So why not be here and battle whatever this secret monster is and it be finalized, you know? So that's and basically in the spiritual community, I can say this, in the spiritual community, um, you will hear people talk about stalking and group stalking and community stalking and gang stalking. Everybody have their story different, everybody has their own story and how it's being done, with especially even with the officials harassing you, like the police or CPS or even the higher ups, mayors in them, just kind of harassing you and trying to make you upset and angry and things of that nature. So, and I've had that happen. I've had that happen. I've had officers harassing me. I've gone to courthouses where the clerks are real rude, like yelling at me for no reason, like I'm some child. Like I need to let them know that, look, I don't want her to help me out anymore because she was very rude and disrespectful. I don't know what type of integrity you guys have nowadays, because it ain't none. You feel me? So, um, so basically that's kind of like the gist of what's going on in my life at this moment. And I want a little bit more exposure on what's going on, because, when you expose the truth, the corruption that's behind it, they start fearing, and then, that would drive them to stop doing what they're doing. It's because that it's not being exposed is why they continuously do it. And I've heard of certain people that have had this done before. Rather it was a narcissistic ex that initiated them into whatever that program is, where they're being blacklisted. And because when you start speaking the truth, you get blacklisted. Like, I was literally blacklisted in the town of Macon, Georgia. I would get like at my shop, even right now at my shop, I've been there a few months, and I get some clients, but it's like, okay, I was getting a whole lot of clients in the other shops where I was getting harassed at by, some of the customers and the workers that were there. But now that I have and if y'all all know me like that, why isn't anybody, trying to patronize me at my shop? I did a free hairstyle event during the winter months of the past year, and only a few people showed up. I would have thought all these black people, yeah, they would love a great free hairstyle for their children by me, which I braid pretty good. I'm one of the best, 20 plus year vet out here, but nobody showed up. That just shows you the the accumulation of the blacklisting, the harassment, the slanders, and the defaming of my character out here. Because if people are being told whatever slanderous, nasty rumors about me, they're gonna think it's true, even without. And I really believe a lot of them are getting paid to do what they're doing, because you can't be that evil. Like, a lot of you, like, it doesn't even, it's so crazy, because it's like, dang, it be your own people. It really be your own people, and who be puppeteering your own people, but your own people they're not gonna tell the truth, because they're getting paid. They're getting paid to stalk people, hack into people's phones and devices, and slander people and harass people, and try to cause them to be mentally ill. Well, what's crazy is the people doing that's a mental illness, to follow someone around and you don't even know them. And even if you believe in whatever slander and rumors that you have heard about them, you've never even confronted them about it. Most of these people, they've never even talked to me about, anything. They'll just believe the rumors or whatever it is, the defaming of my character, and it's just like, it's remarkable on the conspiratory events that's going on out here. Even it seemed like even the judges are in on this. Judges, police, clerks. It's a lot of craziness going on around here. You know, so I need more exposure on this story because I'm basically alone here in this town, and I don't have much family out here, and it's just it's a crazy thing. It's a crazy thing. So if you can share, you can subscribe and comment, but share. I would really appreciate that, because this is just, it doesn't even make any sense. I've been taking care of my children for 5 years, and all of a sudden randomly now I'm some, abusive parent that I don't even believe in violence. Like, black people be like, you need to spank your children, this and this and that. I don't know. I can talk to them. No, I gentle parent. And it seems like the South, where I'm at, they're trying to make it seem like me gentle parenting is not a good thing. Like, I should be spanking my children. At the same time, doing these conspiratory bullshit and saying that I've been abusing my children and hitting on my children and doing exorcisms and all this stupid shit. So, that's my story pretty much in a gist. And if you want, you can reach out to me. If you're going through the same thing too, reach out to me. I know it's a lot of people that have their like gang stalk stories, or just weird things, spiritual community people, and even some people that aren't spiritual are going through certain things that are unexplainable. That if you told anyone, you would look like you're a fucking crazy maniac, which you're not. You're not alone. It's happening to many of us. And I'm going to tell you something here before I leave, because I wasn't intending this video to be this long. It's 37 minutes. However, the people that's gang stalking and community group stalking, harassing you and things of that nature, they're paid, because they're being paid. A lot of them are being paid to do the harassment, to cause the psychological warfare, to cause the mental illness, to induce mental illness within certain people. They are kind of being stalked too by the people that are paying them, because if you're not doing this job that we need you to do, we gonna do the same thing that we got you doing to this individual. And you see, it's not fun. It's not fun to be, to have your privacy literally invaded 24/7. You understand me? So, most of these people, they're scared. They're afraid. They're afraid too. So instead of speaking out, they don't. They shut their trap and they get paid and they do their stalking. So I know a lot of people in the spiritual community, on the YouTube world, like Professional High Priestess, just a few of them, spiritual gangsta, I believe her channel is. Just a lot of different people that are going through. It's a lot, hundreds and hundreds of people going through the same, unexplainable things. And, they're scared to talk. Some are scared to talk about it, but some are speaking out. So if you can relate to the story, speak out. Email me, DM me, speak out, please. Share, okay? All right. This is Goddess Emma from Goddess Intuition 3 channel, and I'm out. I need to expose what's going on, because I can't stay silent. And I've been little by little, I'm sorry, y'all. Little by little, I've been kind of telling the story from the beginning. I've been telling the story on my Facebook page, on my Instagram, and I just need that exposure. I've even been shadow banned. Like, Facebook shadow banned me. I used to get like a lot of likes and comments and all this stuff, but the past few years they've been shadow banning me, not allowing people to see the post because it's the truth. So holla, stay sane in this insane world.